Okay, here are the carburetors on the bench. I have some of the components here to rebuild the carburetor. So I have this All Balls carburetor rebuild kit here. This is probably one of the best kits you can buy off of Amazon. Definitely recommend it. I've used this in the Magna and the YZF. I'm going to use this on the CBR. But a lot of components are here, a lot of gaskets, screws, needles, jets, pretty much everything you need to rebuild these carburetors. Here's everything else kind of fuel related. These are cheap. Went ahead and picked up a new fuel filter. Don't know when the last time this has been changed, but definitely need to do that. The old petcock, as you can see, is pretty gone, rusted out inside the tank. This valve won't even move anymore, won't even turn. So picked up a replacement, and also has the in-tank mesh on it as well. Comes with a new knob so you can turn it on and off, but just have everything here fuel related to get this fuel system operating properly and the bike running great. So let's go ahead and get into this carburetor rebuild here. Can't wait to see what's in these bowls here after probably 4 or 5 years of sitting. So let's go ahead and crack one of these open. Okay, let's get this bowl opened up here. All right, moment of truth, reveal. What? That actually doesn't look too bad. It looks like the previous owner may have shut the fuel off before storing it. I was definitely expecting this to look like the gas tank all gummed up. This actually looks pretty impressive here. These gaskets are pretty flat, so I will be replacing them, but I'll keep all the components out of this kit, but I'll end up replacing everything with the balls kit because I'm not sure how what everything looks like inside here. So we'll go ahead and we'll get into this. Yeah, so far very impressive with all these bowls and floats. Just want to see what the needles look like. I do just see a little bit, just a little bit there, maybe just a little bit of old fuel there, but those bowls look like they've already been cleaned. Maybe this was cleaned and put back together and never ran. You never know. Never know what the previous owners do to a motorcycle, but that's a risk you take when you buy a used motorcycle. In this case, this worked out. So let's go ahead and start taking all of the floats, all the jets, and let's take them out and see how everything looks. Start taking off some of these floats. Just gonna do that there, grab it with a pair of pliers, slide it out. Once you remove the float pin, the float and the needle will come out. All the needles right there. Just go ahead, let's get this removed. Just repeat the process for all of them. Start moving these. See how they look. See if you can see through them. Can almost. These look pretty clean. I've seen way worse, completely gummed up. This you can see through. It's pretty. All right. Let's see how these look. Well, if it's like the rest of them, it's gonna look good. Definitely looking good. Yep. Nothing in there. We're just gonna put some carb cleaner through here. Just make sure there's no debris. But these look great as well. Okay, let's see how these vacuum diaphragms look inside here. But first we got to remove this choke linkage here. So just want to move these screws here, these screws over here, and this assembly should simply pop off. Okay, I did notice on some of these vacuum slides here, some of them operate a little easier. Look at that one, just got stuck. Then the rest, look at that. That's definitely not what you want. So we're definitely going to take this apart, clean these. And we do have new slides here for it, slide needles. Maybe that'll help remedy it. I don't know, let's check it out. Let's get these covers off. They all seem just a little like not as free sliding as I want them. Alright, well, there's a spring in here, just be careful. Let's take that out. Be careful with this boot. Make sure we don't rip that. Look at this, definitely gummed up right here. A lot of corrosion. That's probably where some of that old fuel was sitting. So we definitely want to change that portion out. You can see inside here, just a little bit of fuel or oil inside here. But other than that, it looks pretty clean. This doesn't have any rips. It was just, it's been on there for a while. So we can remove this inner piece here. And then this needle, the slide needle right here. We'll be able to replace that. And then once we get the new one in there, we'll just reassemble this. But I'm going to get some carburetor cleaner sprayed in here. Hopefully there's nothing gummed up. But make sure you remove the rest of these because you don't want any of that carb cleaner touching any of this rubber. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the rest of these caps. So we'll just remove all these screws and take all the parts out. Okay, you can see on each of these are a little residual. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it was oil, just gummed up fuel. Not sure. Maybe put a little assembly lube there to help those slides move a little better. Not sure, but gonna clean it off. So we have all of them off, looking good. Have everything here removed. Everything out of here removed. So we can just take some of this brake parts cleaner here, and we're just gonna spray it in here, make sure there's just no residual gummed up fuel. Just let that sit in there for a little bit and break down any of that fuel that's in there. But we're just gonna get these clean. I started spraying some of this brake part cleaner in here. You can see a lot of that yellow. It might just be old fuel. Not sure what it is. It's definitely cleaning it. You can see it's yellow there. Just to make sure the parts are super clean. And just dump all this stuff out. Pretty gross. But good idea to get this stuff coated. It'll help break down anything that's on here. Help clean the mating surface for the gaskets. Just make sure there's no gunk left anywhere. Alright, once you got the brake part cleaner in here, kind of put it where all the floats go, all the needles, jets. Just make sure there's no old residual fluid in there. And take our air hose here and we'll just blow everything out. Alright, we got everything looking nice and clean. Use that brake parts cleaner. Got everything sprayed out. Went and used the air hose. Sprayed all these out right here. Just made sure everything was clean. Sprayed right here in the fuel line. Make sure there was no gummed up fuel in there. But this thing looks awesome and is ready for reassembly. Okay, we're going to start by rebuilding these vacuum diaphragms here. Just make sure you look at your boot, make sure there's no rips or tears. I'm going to be changing out this little needle here for it. So simply just push up on it like this, push upward, It should pop out right here. Oh, this came out. You can just slide the needle out. Just be careful, there is a washer in there. Make sure that does stay in there. Then we can replace this. You can see here is the replacement needle. I think that one just all gummed up. This one's brand new. So we'll just go ahead, put this back in order. We took it apart. Okay, now with this new slide needle, just make sure everything's clean on these surfaces right here, because they will have to slide into here. And once they're in there, make sure they go in that little pilot. Yeah, just make sure the surface is nice and clean. You just guide it in, reassemble it as you took it out. Alright, once you got the diaphragm in, just make sure it's seated on there nice. And we can grab the top part with the spring. Once the spring is on there, just make sure if that goes back in, just make sure it seats. Kind of compress the spring a little bit as it goes in. And once it's right there, just put your 3 screws back in it. Look at that slide working great. That new slide needle in there. Everything's nice and clean. Working good. Now we're just going to repeat that process for the following 3. Okay, getting ready to assemble the bowls here. Everything that goes inside of it. So we'll go ahead and we'll use our all balls kit here. And we'll just replace all the components that are here. Alright, got both these components on each one of the carburetors. Next we'll put on the floats and the needles. So we'll just reassemble them the same way we took them out. Okay, we got all the floats and the brand new needles in there. Looking good. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the bowls on. But first we have brand new gaskets over here for them in the all balls kit. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the old ones out and replace them with the new gaskets. You see these ones are kind of compressed, and it will just ensure that we don't have any fuel leaks. Yeah, definitely a good idea to replace them. They're a little crunchy and just breaking off. Okay, we got the new gaskets for the bowls here. If you do find yourself having a hard time keeping these gaskets in place, you can use a little bit of Vaseline to help hold down the corners while you install them on the carburetors. Okay, as you can see, I have some of the Vaseline in the corners there. It just helps hold it in place while you drop the bowl on the carburetor. Okay, we got one carburetor bowl down. Let's repeat the process for the next 3. Alright, we got one rebuilt carburetor ready to go back in the CBR. Let's go ahead and just put this back in order as we took everything out. Don't want to bore you guys too much on the reassembly. Just go ahead and follow the same steps you did when you took it apart. Just put everything back in order in reverse. So let's go ahead and get to it. Right, before we get this carburetor in place here, we want to go ahead and just change out this fuel filter. It's under here. It might be a little bit easier to get to since we have this off, but simply just 2 clamps, a clamp here and a clamp there. Replace this fuel filter. Also went ahead and installed the new petcock on the bottom of the gas tank. It's as simple as just putting it in, tightening up this big bolt right here, and you're ready to go. Alright, we got fresh fuel in here. Just did the all balls carburetor on here. Go to start this thing up. We don't have the idle screw. The cable fell off. But this is what I have right now. It sounds like she's running on a couple cylinders. Sounds like she has a vacuum leak. If I try to give it any gas, it'll probably die. What do you guys think? I blew this out. Let's see here. That's in between. I mean, it looks alright, but this thing was nasty. I blew a lot of it out, but not sure if it's just old or what's going on. So let's change this out. Okay, got the K&N air filter here. I'm going to put this side down. I'm going to put it in place just like that and reassemble the air box. Okay, we got that K&N air filter in here. See if this makes a difference. Try with the choke on. Choke on a little bit. Maybe it's the idle screw. Maybe it can't idle. I'll just say you take this choke off. It might be idling a little too low. Okay, so shortly after getting the CBR running here, I let it run for a good 5 or 10 minutes. Found out it was out of coolant. Went ahead and filled it up, shut the bike back off, started it up. She started to run a little rough, thinking it was spark plug. Tried to up the idle. The idle screw, this guy right here, just kind of fell out the bottom of the the carburetors. So not sure if I have to take the gas tank off to replace this, but I let it run for a little bit longer. Next thing you know, all this water started spewing out everywhere. So I came over here to this side, this hose over here. Where's it at? This hose right in there actually popped off. Water went everywhere on the ground. Just made a mess. So I got a bigger hose clamp for it. Not sure, maybe those hoses are a little hard and it just popped off. But I went ahead and started the bike again. Started leaking out of this sensor here. It's actually dripping here, and I believe it's coming through here. So not sure if that temperature sensor is bad. I'm gonna go ahead and order a new one. But I noticed the bike was running a little rough. So I popped all the spark plug boots off. And this morning I have all 4 spark plugs out. Went ahead and checked them out. Let me show you the difference between the new ones and the ones I just removed. Like I said, not knowing the history on the CBR, not sure what was changed on here, not sure how long it's been sitting, but definitely some issues with a bike that just sits. That's what you get for getting a used bike. But hey, if you can take care of all that stuff and get a bike that's running for a good deal, hey, it's worth it. But let me show you those spark plugs. Here we go. We have the spark plugs on the bench. We got cylinder 1, 2, 3, and 4. Here's number 1. Looks pretty dark, like it's running rich. Cylinder number 2. Looks like we're running rich. Maybe these were ran rich prior to rebuilding carburetors. Cylinder 4 doesn't look too bad. You can see anti-seize on there. I will reapply on the new ones, but this new one looks great here. Just going to replace them, see if the bike will start up, run a little bit easier. Alright, let's go ahead and get these changed out. Okay, let's see how she runs with the new spark plugs. Okay, not sure what to do next. The bike runs, it starts just when you do the throttle blip. It just chokes out, might be vacuum, might be something, not sure, might be something super easy. But until next time, hopefully I figure this out. All right, guys. 186 out.